My fiancée told me she was leaving to start a family with her trainer. I silently erased her from my life, and that very night she returned in tears begging for help. I was 36, sitting at the kitchen table, staring blankly at a half-full coffee cup, trying to wrap my head around how quickly everything fell apart. It was a Thursday afternoon, around 2 p.m., when my phone buzzed. It was Sarah, 31, my fiancée of 8 months. We'd been together for 3 years and had shared my home for a year and a half. Her call was short and harsh, almost too formal. "David, I need to tell you something. I'm moving in with Anthony. We're going to have a baby together. I'll be picking up my things tonight," she said, sounding steady but a bit distant. Anthony was her personal trainer, this guy I'd even paid for 4 months of sessions trying to be supportive. My mind just froze. Took a moment for her words to register. I simply said, "Congratulations," like I was confirming dinner plans. What else could I say? She had made her decision. "I thought you'd fight for me or something," she replied. I told her, "You're having another man's baby and moving in with him. Sarah, there's nothing left to fight for." After that, I just hung up. I felt this odd calmness, as if I was watching a stranger's life fall apart. As I was trying to think about what to do next, I remembered the engagement ring I'd bought just 6 weeks prior. I called the jeweler, explained the situation, and they were surprisingly understanding. Their return policy covered my case, minus a small fee. I drove over and got back $111,000 for the ring, which was worth a lot more than what I had originally paid. Next up was the BMW I co-signed for her. The payments were automatically deducted from my account, so I logged into the leasing site and removed my payment info. They mentioned I could take my name off the lease, but she'd need to qualify on her own or return the car by the end of the month. Given her trainer salary, I figured they'd be taking it back. After that, I went home and started changing everything. I reset the Wi-Fi password, logged out of all our streaming accounts, switched the home security code, and even canceled the gym membership I was covering. I also took her off my credit card account. It took a few hours, but I made sure to get it all sorted. By 5 p.m., I was sitting in my living room, feeling like everything was secure, just waiting to see what would happen next. At 6:30 p.m., the doorbell rang. I checked the camera and saw Sarah standing there, mascara running down her face, tears flowing, with 2 suitcases in tow. I opened the door just enough to see her. "David, please, we need to talk. Anthony kicked me out," she said, shaking. I asked, "Why would he kick out his pregnant girlfriend?" She answered, "It's complicated. He needs time. He wasn't ready for me to move in yet." I couldn't believe her attitude. She had completely upended our lives and now thought I should help her. I replied, "That sounds like an Anthony problem, not a David problem." She cried, "You can't cut me off like this. I can't get into my accounts. The car payment didn't go through. My gym membership is canceled. Everything is blocked." I reminded her, "You said you were moving in with Anthony. Those are his responsibilities now, not mine." She begged, "Please, just for tonight until I figure things out." I told her, "No, Sarah, you made your choice this morning. You picked Anthony and his baby over us. I'm respecting that choice, no arguments." Her look went from desperate to angry, then panicked. "This is insane. You're punishing me for being honest." I said, "I'm not punishing you. I'm just accepting your decision. You wanted a different life with Anthony. Go build it." When I suggested she stay with her family or friends, she lowered her voice to a whisper. "But I have nowhere to go," she said. I repeated, "You have Anthony. You have family. You have friends. Figure it out." Then closed the door. I locked it and stood there in silence. She knocked and cried for about 10 minutes before finally leaving. The silence that followed felt strangely peaceful. Fast forward 48 hours after Sarah's announcement, and things were getting crazy. That Thursday night, my phone lit up with frantic texts from unfamiliar numbers and borrowed phones. "David, please, I made a huge mistake. Anthony isn't who I thought he was. I'm at a motel. I can't afford this. Please talk to me. I'm scared and lost." I just took screenshots and didn't respond. The next morning, her sister Jessica called my work, furious. "David, what's wrong with you? Sarah is devastated. She's practically homeless." I reminded her that Sarah had said she was moving in with Anthony. I respected her choice. Anthony used her. He dumped her, Jessica argued. I replied, "That's unfortunate, but it's not my problem. She made her choice." "You're being cruel," Jessica shot back. I said calmly, "I'm being realistic. She ended our relationship to be with someone else. I'm not a backup plan or a wallet." I hung up and blocked her number. Later that afternoon, Sarah's mom called, and the tension was palpable. "I'm ashamed of you," Linda said. I responded, "Linda, she left me for another man. I didn't throw her out. She made that choice herself." Her mom insisted. "She changed her mind." I told her, "That's not changing her mind. That's facing consequences. She needs stability. She's having a baby, Anthony's baby." Linda called me heartless. I said I was just being practical. "Your daughter chose someone else, and I'm respecting that choice with boundaries." I found out later from a mutual friend that Anthony wasn't just a personal trainer. He was married, and his wife found out about the affair. Now, he was cutting ties with Sarah to save his marriage. So, she lost both her fiancé and her affair partner. A few days later, the dealership called, letting me know that Sarah was begging them for help. Without a strong cosigner, they wouldn't help her keep the car. She was told to return it or face repossession. She started posting vague messages about fake love online, and mutual friends were curious about what had gone down. I told the truth. She left me for someone else, and now she had to deal with the fallout. Most people understood. The rest faded away. Over the weekend, I packed up her things she left behind in her rush to leave. I labeled everything, and if she wanted it, she could come get it. The house had a different vibe now, much quieter, more stable. No more tiptoeing around, no more secret texts, and I definitely wasn't footing the bill for her personal trainer anymore. She made her choice to leave me for Anthony, and I wasn't about to finance her escape. A week later, her sense of entitlement hit a new level. I got a certified letter at work that was 3 pages long. In it, she claimed I abandoned her when she needed me most and demanded that I cover her hotel expenses until she got back on her feet. She even wanted couples counseling to work through what she called my betrayal. It was wild. She was the one who cheated and ended up pregnant by someone else. I showed the letter to my buddy Tom at lunch, and he nearly choked on his sandwich, laughing. "She expects you to pay her bills after leaving for another guy?" he said. "You gotta keep that letter. It's a perfect example of how she thinks." The next day, my bank called me about some suspicious transactions. Turns out, Sarah had tried to use my canceled credit card at a bunch of stores. They flagged it for fraud, and I filled them in on the situation. They confirmed the card was canceled and noted her unauthorized attempts. Then, in the middle of the week, Sarah's parents showed up at my door unannounced. When I opened it, Linda launched into a speech, while Mike, her dad, looked really uncomfortable. "Sarah made a mistake. Please think this over," he said. I told them, "She didn't just make a mistake. She chose to leave me for another man. The fallout is on her, not me." They pushed back, saying she needed support, but I reminded them, it's Anthony's baby, and that's his responsibility. They tried guilt and logic, but I held my ground. Eventually, they left, and I enjoyed a refreshing quiet in the house again. The following week, Sarah confronted me at my gym, not her fancy one but the one I actually used. She cornered me by the free weights. "David, please give me 5 minutes," she begged. I gave her 3. "I know I messed up. I'm scared and lost." I told her that didn't matter. She chose to cheat with Anthony. You can't just walk back into my life after making those choices. She insisted she loved me. I replied, "No, you loved what I provided. Stability and a comfortable life. Now you're realizing the fun with Anthony isn't what you thought it would be." Eventually, I walked away, telling her to find a new gym. I blocked Jessica again to avoid more guilt trips. 3 months later, the final chapter unfolded. Sarah's life had unraveled. The car got repossessed, and she ended up moving back in with her parents, where mutual friends reported everything was a disaster. While pregnant, she faced constant lectures and reminders of the life she threw away. Anthony, on the other hand, was trying to deflect blame. He told his wife that Sarah lied about the baby's paternity and demanded a DNA test. Sarah agreed, thinking it would push him to take responsibility. But the results didn't lie. After that, Anthony got a lawyer and started planning custody disputes while offering minimal support. The last time I ran into Sarah was at a coffee shop close to my office. She was having a tough time managing her grocery bags and looked very pregnant. A quick flash of our past memories hit me, but then I remembered how everything shifted when she moved in with Anthony. I finished my coffee and headed back to work. No distractions. Just a week ago, Jessica decided to take a different angle and asked a coworker to try to convince me to help Sarah out with baby expenses. I straight up told her that Sarah picked Anthony to be the father, so those responsibilities are on him, not me. It's like the sense of entitlement just never ends, even now. Sarah and her family still think I should come in and help clean up her mess. As for me, life's treating me well. The house is mine, my finances are my own. No more stressing over who my ex is texting or funding someone else's drama. I started seeing someone new last month, Michelle, who's an architect. She's independent and doesn't rely on a personal trainer. Everything feels refreshing, stable, and peaceful. Honestly, the best form of revenge isn't some over-the-top drama. It's just letting things unfold. Sarah made her choice with Anthony and the baby, and now she's dealing with the reality of that decision. Sometimes, stepping back is the strongest way to let others face the consequences of their actions.